Hey, Internet, it's Matt here for Dorks on Sports, talking about my predictions for round two of the World Cup. First, quick recap of how I did in round one. 13 of my 16 predictions came true. Would have had 14, except for Senegal falling victim to the first ever fair play tiebreaker. Yikes, that was a tough blow for them. They had two more yellow cards than Japan, and so although they were tied in all the other categories, fair play sends Senegal home. Japan goes on. Favorite moment of the first round was I was actually visiting my folks back home in Georgia. My dad was my soccer coach forever, so we got to share this moment. My dad, we were on an army base in Germany back in the day, so we were German fans. We got to witness Germany scoring the free kick, Toni Kroos, 95th minute, to temporarily keep Germany in the World Cup. So that was really an awesome moment to share with my dad. Of course, a few days later, I was horribly depressed as Germany flamed out of the tournament. But it has been a tournament filled with a lot of excitement. It was only 1-0-0 game in the entire first round. That's got to be a record. And so good things await round two. So here we go with my second round picks. First up, you've got Spain versus Russia. This is Spain. This is Spain all the way. Russia is not a great team, but they are surviving on A, home field advantage, B, being in a really weak group. Group A was, they usually talk about the group of death. This was the group of life, as it was a pretty easy group to get out of. There was one legit team in it, and that was Uruguay. Uruguay went undefeated, one of the three undefeated teams in the first round, the other two being Croatia and Belgium. But anyway, I think Russia bids adieu against Spain. Next game, Croatia versus Denmark. Croatia, I just mentioned, they were an undefeated team. They did not have an easy group, but they got through it, trounced Argentina in the process, and they look very strong. I see that. I see Croatia moving on against a good but not great Denmark team. So there's only so much you can count on Eriksson to score your goals for you. I think Croatia is more of a team, and they'll give Denmark too much, and so Croatia goes through. Next up on that side of the bracket is Sweden v. Switzerland, which is basically almost like the same team playing itself. These teams are very similar, very strong defensive teams that have a couple of talisman offensive players that they rely on. In the case of Sweden, it's Forsberg. In the case of Switzerland, it's Shaqiri. Shaqiri, in the moment, has been playing, I think, better than Forsberg, so I'm going to go with Switzerland in a close match. Switzerland gets through against Sweden. Next match, Colombia versus England. There's a rumor that Colombia may be without James Rodriguez, who is their talisman offensive player. I think either way, England takes this game. England got to take a game off, essentially, and they'd already qualified by game 3 of the first round. So they rested a lot of their players. So they're fresh, and they've got the talent. I think England takes that game. So in that side of the bracket, you've got Spain, Croatia, Switzerland, and England all winning. The other side of the bracket, which is significantly tougher in terms of the number of teams you recognize. You've got Uruguay v. Portugal. You've got France v. Argentina. Boy, the names on that one. Brazil v. Mexico, and Belgium v. Japan. So, right off the bat, Uruguay v. Portugal. This is a tough matchup for Portugal. I mean, obviously they've got Ronaldo, and they've got some great talent, but they haven't been playing great, and I think this is where they're rode in because Uruguay has a very good team, and I think Uruguay, as I mentioned, one of those undefeated teams in the first round, wins this game, and manages to get through. Uruguay over Portugal. Next up, France v. Argentina. Boy, in past years, I probably would have chosen Argentina in this game. But watching them play this tournament, they have really struggled. They got crushed by Croatia. They relied on just some late game magic to get out of the group versus Nigeria. I think even though France hasn't played great, they haven't lost. And I think even a not great France can still narrowly defeat Argentina. France goes through in this situation. Brazil v. Mexico. I am biased because Mexico is the U.S.'s greatest rival soccer team, and so I'm always like, boo. But that aside, I do think, as a neutral observer, I would still say Brazil would win this game. But I will probably be rooting for Brazil in this game. So yeah, Neymar, he's been getting fouled like crazy, and when he's not getting fouled, he's embellishing a lot. Got called for that against Costa Rica. There was a penalty kick called, and then VAR, which has been, I think, used to some good effect in this tournament, was used to overturn the call because it was shown that Neymar flopped essentially in the box. But yes, Brazil's got a lot of talent, and I think, although they're not playing perfectly at the moment, they will have enough to get past Mexico, who just got trounced themselves in their last game. So yeah, Brazil. So that leaves Belgium versus Japan. Boy, I kind of feel sorry for Japan in this one. Japan, I think, is just happy to be there. Hey, you play the teams in front of you, and you play the situations in front of you, but they lucked out when Colombia had a man red carded in the 3rd minute of the first game. That enabled them to, I think, win a game that they probably would not have won otherwise. And those 3 points catapulted them into the second round. So Belgium, just a rock-solid team, and they also got to rest players, much like England did. England and Belgium played each other with nothing on the line, so they didn't put any of their real starters in, gave Lukaku a rest, gave his ankle a rest. So Belgium, I think, easily beats Japan to move on. So on that side of the bracket, you've got Uruguay, France, Brazil, and Belgium. That, my predictions for round 2. Looking forward to this. So enjoy, everybody. World Cup on the weekend. Woo! Bye, everybody.